And good morning to everyone. I just did a test last night of a disk command that is causing some confusion among some people. Well, a few of you have followed the discussion on Facebook, which has gotten really ugly for some reason. I mean, it's this kind of trivial stuff shouldn't lead to so much aggravation, but I'm still curious as to the actual workings. Now, not everybody understands. What I'm looking at is a Commodore 64 screen. It's a real Commodore. Let me zoom out. You can see it's just my Commodore. You've seen it. Ta-da! Hello. And to the right here is my real 1541 drive. That's the setup. Okay. Now zoom in on the screen again. The thing is that there are commands that you can enter into the Commodore 64, and there are disk commands, and those disk commands are executed by the drive. Now, everyone knows what a wildcard is. You know, if you don't know a file name, you can use a wildcard, and that will match any characters. So you could, if you're looking for all files that start with F, you could type this, and you'd get the first file that starts with F, and it doesn't matter what follows after the F. You know, you could also use a question mark, so if you were, if you type that, then this would match with fist or fust or fest or whatever. And this would match with anything starting with F. So that's the basic operation of the asterisk, which is handy if you don't want to type a full file name. You know, if it's too long, or maybe it's got characters that aren't easy to type, you can just try and match a file name that way. Now, the manual written by the people who built the device and wrote the software says that if you use the asterisk, if you use a load command, if you use a command like this, the manual says it will match with the last used file. Now, the last used, that might suggest that it has the files have a timestamp and that the computer looks for a timestamp, but that's impossible because the Commodore doesn't have a lasting clock. It doesn't have a clock battery. It doesn't have anything that is capable of telling the time. So my guess is that they simply use a flag for the file that's last been touched, and this expression matches the last used file. Now, last night I uploaded a video where I proved that works, but I was using my, let me zoom out again, using my Ultimate 2, which I've disconnected now. You know, this is a pretty true to life representation of a disk drive, but it can do loads more, and it has all kinds of software inside. So to be honest, I cannot be sure how well this matches the real thing. So that's why I've now installed my real drive just to see what the real effect is. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did last night, but I'm going to do it with a real disk. So I'm going to load the directory, see what's on it. There's nothing on it. New. There we go. I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to print a message saying first. Wow. First program. Just going to run it to test. Right, first program. I'm going to save it. Call it first. Save it to the disk. Now, I'm going to new. That erases the program. I'm going to check the disk. See if it's, yep, it saved it. I'm going to load. Now, naturally, this is going to match anything. I mean, there's only one file, so this is always going to work, regardless of I run the program, I get first program. Okay, now, I clear it out. Make a new program. No. Clear. I clear the screen, and I'm going to write second program. Right? I'm going to run it. I'm going to save. Call it second program. Save it to the disk. I'm going to new, and I'm going to check what's on the disk. Okay, now my prediction is that if I now load this, it's going to load the second file because that's the last used file, right? So if I do this and I run, I'm going to have to see second program. That's what I thought. Now, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to load the first. No, first. Listed. Hey, it's the first program. I'm going to try and make an adaptation here. We're going to say print and the end, whatever. I'm going to run that. Hey, the end. I'm going to save this program. Now, it's not going to work because the Commodore, the file just won't be overwritten. So I'm going to do this. It's not going to give me any message on screen, but my light, I can try and, the light on my disk, see it's flashing. That means, oh sorry, that means drive error. Cannot overwrite the file. I could read the error channel, but I'm not going to because I don't know the command off the top of my head. So, okay, but it's touched the last file, right? So the last file used is now first. So if I said new, my prediction is that it's going to load the first file now. Run. Hey, how about that? You know, it just does look like if I use this asterisk command that it just uses the last used file just as the manual says. So it works on real hardware as the manual predicts. And the Ultimate 2 does the same thing. Hey, that's funny. No, it's not really, because it's just in the manual, and it works the way it's supposed to work. And if some twat, I'm sorry, sees another result on some emulator, I mean, I like the Vice emulator, I use it, I know it's a very good program, it's very well written, but it behaves differently. So if that's your experience, then my guess is that someone made a little mistakey in writing Vice, and it's not true to life, because this is real hardware doing the real thing, and it does what the manual says. So, hey, case closed, in my opinion. If you use the asterisk, it's going to use the last used file, and the way it determines what the last used file is, I don't know, but my guess is that it's just a flag somewhere set that says, hey, this is the last one that I used, and that's it. Well, I thought it was interesting. Maybe you do as well. I don't know. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.